Hi there. I'm going to do a follow-up video about what it means to be a healer. And in this conversation, I want to just talk about shamanism just a little bit. Because qigong, the art that we practice, is a shamanic art. And so what does that mean? So even people ask me, what is qigong? And that's such a simple question, and the answer can be quite vast. But simply put, they're just through my lensing, qigong emerged from the Tao, the vast, empty, full void, Wu Ji, the great nothingness, the void of the great mother, the Tao. Qigong emerged from the Tao, and it is rooted in ancient Taoist shamanism. And it is a branch of traditional Chinese medicine. And the Taoist shamans used to take care of the community, just like modern day shamans do. And they would teach the communities how to stay healthy. And they would, of course, make herbal medicines and do prayers and do rituals and do journeys for people. And they have a whole elaborate Taoist shamanism, cosmology, and practice. And so I don't know all of that, but I know some. But one piece that I want to share with you is they created these forms, or they tapped into these forms, these animal forms, and they're great shapeshifters, just like modern day shamans are. They go into the spirit realm and they take on these archetypes. And when they take on these archetypes, they channel and transmit a message. And so in the type of qigong that we practice, we absolutely do that. We become the elements, right? We become the trees, we become the fire, we become the earth, we become the metal, we become the water, we become mountains, rivers, lakes, streams. Right? But we also become animals, birds and deers and tigers and dragons and bears and monkeys and turtles and snakes, and we become all of these things. So that's part of the principle of qigong, is that we take on or go into an archetype, right? But the other piece that's really where there is a similarity between just normal qigong practice and Taoism and in shamanism is that when you're practicing with me, when we'll stitch in, we'll set an intention, we'll light a candle, and then we'll come into our practice. But before we come into our practice, we have to empty, right? So we're in ordinary state of reality. And then we empty, right? We pass through a gate. And then when we empty and we pass through a gate, and then we step across the threshold. And when we step across the threshold, we start to do the principles of alchemy. And what happens then is we cleanse and clear a bunch of old energy, and then we're able to drop into the flow state. And we're able to drop into non-ordinary reality. And you'll go into non-ordinary reality and become the element or animal of that session. And then in that, I'll ask you to travel a little. You'll go to the past, or you'll receive information. Somehow you'll receive information, and then you will, at the end of the practice, you'll anchor that into your body, and then you step back across the threshold, back into ordinary reality. And then I ask you to tell me about it. What did you receive on that journey? And that, in and of itself, in a broad brushstroke, is what shamans do. They go from ordinary reality to non-ordinary reality. They travel, they get information, they embody it, they bring it back, and they share that information. When they come back into ordinary reality, they share it. And in shamanism, generally, they have the upper world and the lower world and the middle world. And so when we do our qigong practice, we are going into the middle world. Sometimes we'll go into the upper and lower worlds, but mainly we're going into middle world. These are middle world qigong journeys, and these are middle world shaman journeys, and those are the journeys that I tend to go to if I'm seeking information or I'm trying to do something within this reality, you know, to help somebody in the here now, in the present moment. Middle world journeys are how to get practical information. And from my lensing, qigong practice that we do is a middle world journey. And I would love to hear your perspective, especially if you're a journeyer or a practitioner, or, you know, are trained in shamanic ways and tools and skills. I would love to hear your perspective. I just wanted to share that with you because, you know, sometimes we hear the word qigong, we don't really know what it is. We think it's an exercise class, right? And while we are moving our body and we will like become stronger and fitter and more flexible and resilient and have boost our immune system and, you know, have great, better cardiac health and hormone health and help with all our healing, but it's also an opportunity to go from one state of reality into another state and come back and share the wisdom that you received. That's why when we practice together, it's a wisdom circle, because you're going to come back and share your wisdom with the group, and we will all be blessed by it, right? So I'm going to just say goodbye for now.